Participants? Okay, cool. Let me record this. Cool. Oh, I'm live. Hey guys, it's Andre from Hudson Valley Creative or Go with the Flow Wedding podcast. So today I'll be talking with Maria Lung from photos.mby. I'll verify that in a little bit, but how is everyone doing? So I guess this will be my fifth episode with Maria Lung. She's a photographer, wedding photographer, elopement photographer. So I'm gonna be joining in with her in a little bit. So how is everyone doing? Hanging in there? All good? Okay, camera's set. Okay, let me just double check her Instagram. It's like, cool. So I'm gonna let her join now and let's have fun. So I'm gonna be recording now, I guess. It's been recording, right? Cool. And mic is on, and then I'm going in now, I guess. Yeah. Let's see. Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, I just clicked, I'm using computer audio. Is that okay?
That's completely fine. Of course it is. Oh my God, I'm so excited to be able to talk with you. I've been waiting for this day, I guess.
I know. I'm so excited to talk to you too.
Yes.
I'm so happy you even asked me to do this. This is so awesome.
You know what? I mean, I've been reaching out to a few photographers, and you were one of the photographers that were, up for it, and spontaneous to, do a podcast with me.
I know. I was like, all right, let's do it. We want to do it on Monday. Let's go.
So thank you so much for being a part of this podcast. So the podcast is Go with the Flow Weddings. I'm still starting out the podcast, and I talk with other creatives, talk about their life story. I just love hearing creative stories from the other vendors or friends, and it just takes me to their world. And we just go with the flow with the conversation. And let's start out by introducing yourself.
Yeah, so I'm Maria. I run Photos by Maria Belong because it was just as simple as coming up with a name. I didn't want to get too creative.
Is it Maria Lang, right? Lang or Long?
Long. It's like the organ. Yeah. So that's my husband's last name, and I took his name. So that's why the B is my maiden name. So.
Okay. And your Instagram is photos. I get confused. It's like photos.mby, or am I wrong?
Yeah. So when I started it, it was when I was Maria Battaglia before being married. And so that's why it's just .mb.
Mm-hmm.
But the legal name is Photos by Maria Belong.
Okay.
I know. It's so complicated, and I try to make it easy, and changing your last name just isn't that easy.
No, I love it. So what Long is your husband's last name? Is that is that from a different country, or is that like Lang? Where does that come from?
So he is German. A lot of his family, we have no idea where Long came from. With all honesty. No one in his family has no idea where it came from. But they have a lot of like German and other kind of European, I guess, like national. There's a lot of like, because they've lived in New York for generations.
Okay. It
seems so like kind of got lost.
Yeah, it seems so like I don't know. Like it feels like it's somewhere. It's not. It doesn't seem like it's originated in America. But anyways, yeah. So Maria Long is a photographer. You are located in New York, right?
Yes. Yeah. I live about 45 minutes from Manhattan and Brooklyn. It really just depends on the traffic. So I like to say I'm right smack in the middle of everything. So anything in the Hudson Valley, anything in the city, Long Island, New Jersey, I'm kind of right smack in the middle of it all.
Okay, so is that like where exactly are you? Are you in Westchester, or I don't really know where?
I'm right across the bridge. So Rockland County is right across the Tappan Zee Bridge or New Tappan Zee Bridge or Mario Cuomo Bridge, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so you're
I'm right across from Westchester. Yeah.
Okay, Rockland sounds, so you are in Rockland, just to verify.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I've been to
Mm-hmm.
Rockland and I know this, close to the city. So are you doing weddings pretty much like you mentioned? Are you doing weddings in the Hudson Valley and then in the city as well?
Yeah, pretty much everywhere. I feel like I'm commuting into the city at least like 2 to 3 times a week just for engagement sessions.
Oh my
Um,
God.
which is not a big deal, especially for sunrise sessions because there's no traffic, which is
hmm
great.
hmm
And no one's around, so a lot of people are kind of down for those. When you mention like, hey, it's going to be really kind of crazy at sunset, would you want to do it in the morning instead? And people are usually really down for
Oh yeah,
it.
I didn't even know. I wasn't even thinking about that because I'm a videographer. I mean, I feel like photographers, they do like, sunset, or you said you guys do
Yeah.
sunrise shot as well?
Yeah, like I will do an hour, I'll do like golden hour or like the hour after sunrise. And you're kind of getting really similar light where it's super soft and
hmm
golden. But sunrise, there's not a lot of people. So,
So wait, you do get couples. How does that work? You do
yeah.
get couples early in the morning. You guys go shoot it early in the morning. Is that?
Yeah, it's really, so if a couple are early birds anyway,
hmm
they're usually really down for it. Cause then it's also like, they kind of get their session out of the way and then they have their whole rest of the day to enjoy together. And sometimes they even make a day out of it if it's in the city. Like if we go into Brooklyn Bridge Park in the morning, then they'll go into Manhattan and just
hmm
like enjoy the day. So it's kind of an even better of an experience for them. Instead of it being right when everything's getting dark, your session is done. You spent all day getting ready for it.
hmm
But
That's
it really
just
depends on the couples. Yeah. Some
that's
couples
just
are
a
like,
cool.
I'm not waking up at 5 a.m. to do my hair and makeup. No way. But
It's
some of them are
something.
really
It's
down for
like I just actually just recently know about, like just looking following photographers. I didn't even know like the effort that you guys do behind the scene, like having, waking up early in the morning just to get that shot. It's like a lot of commitment, and that's like you guys have to get that shot in that
it. Yeah,
time
but it's
frame.
it's
So
also just it's great. And I'm sure you feel the same way meeting new couples. You're just like hearing their stories, especially their love stories about how they fell in love and how they got engaged. And um, I always try and make them have their engagement session not just be a celebration of their engagement, but of their whole relationship. So
hmm
a lot of couples will like see like the specialness of it
hmm
and they'll really just like roll with it and just have a fun time.
Oh my god, it seems so fun doing that. Like, I mean, early in the morning, I'm a morning person too, but like I feel like I could imagine for someone that's not, an early person.
Yeah. Well, that's why it's good. I feel like I'm a good combination of both, where
hmm
like I love waking up really early and getting a lot of things done right in the morning.
hmm
So then waking up, doing a session, and then coming home and it's only like 9 o'clock is
hmm
like awesome. So that way I can come home, just like edit all day and like
Oh my
yeah.
god.
So
Oh.
but then it's also like the opposite of like weddings where you have to like stay until midnight.
hmm
It's just finding the balance and making sure that you're not um ending a wedding at midnight on a Saturday and then waking up for a sunrise session
Right,
that
right.
Sunday.
Oh my god. So you mentioned, so is this a full time for you, Marie? You've been a full time photographer, or like let me like how long have you been doing photography for
Yeah,
as
so
well?
my timeline is super weird. So
I don't know.
I
I want to
started
hear
yeah,
it.
I started photographing about 10 years ago in high school.
Okay.
Um, and so that's where I learned how to use a darkroom. My high school was really cool where we had a darkroom.
Oh,
Um,
really? Is that like one of
yeah, so
those
we were
like?
able to do film photography and had our own darkroom and just get super weird and creative with it. Like our teacher was also like, it you just have to execute your idea. It doesn't have to
Mhm.
necessarily look good. And then we also had a digital photography class that taught you about Photoshop and like what Photoshop can do, which was
Mhm.
so helpful. Just learning the basics and just being
Mhm.
able to pick up photography and just do whatever you wanted with it without really worrying about your grade.
Mhm.
And I liked it so much that I went to college. So I went to SUNY Purchase College in Westchester in Purchase, New York. And I got my fine art degree there. So I did that for 4 years. And then literally 3 weeks after I graduated, I did my first wedding. I
Okay.
shot my first wedding. And I made my now husband come with me just to have extra gear and like help me carry my stuff around because I had no idea what I was doing. And I warned the couple too. I was like, are you sure you want me to shoot your wedding? I have no idea what I'm doing. I'm gonna fuck it up and you're gonna have the worst photos and I
Is
don't
this a
want to ruin
family
this for
friend?
you.
So this is like a random couple. That's not even a family friend. You started out with a wedding.
So they were my now husband's uncle's girlfriend's daughter.
Okay.
So they were like distant family.
Mhm.
And so I shot their wedding and it was so much fun. We had so much fun. It was also just super helpful because they're a very relaxed couple
Mhm.
and they were a little camera shy and they also knew that like I wasn't very confident and they were pretty cool with that. But they ended up loving their photos and which was one, like amazing. And two, it was just a great experience because then I got engaged and then I was like, okay, cool. Like now I have to start planning my wedding. So since I was planning my wedding, I didn't really shoot a lot of weddings during that time. So I was working full time at an architectural photography firm.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
did that. And then after I got married, I was like, all right, cool. I'm gonna like get this wedding photography ball rolling while still working at my family business. So I still had the flexibility about leaving whenever I wanted to just do a shoot.
Mhm.
So it's been more recent of my like being full time. So I've had a
Okay.
super amazing amount of flexibility due to a family business that I was able to.
What is that, by
But
the way?
then,
I'm curious.
so it's Rockland Bakery is my
Okay.
dad's business and my uncles all own it and a lot of my family members work there too. So it was a great
Mhm.
what is it called?
You get to go. I mean, I'm looking for the word that you're trying to
Yeah.
look for. This doesn't come up, but
It was a great like in between of me
uh-huh.
being able to like focus on photography, but
Right,
also
right.
being able to kind of like compensate financially for the hiccup of all.
I'm sure they're flexible with you as well. Like if you have weddings, they might not be like as strictly like you have to go work
Yeah.
this weekend. So that gives you a
Yeah.
flexibility.
And I even kind of took that job and I told them, I was like, listen, photography comes first.
Uh-huh.
So that's number one. This is like second, which I
Mhm.
think they appreciated, like knowing right from the get-go. But yeah, so I think I did a lot of stuff remotely from like last year from COVID, but I was probably more part-time than anything last year. But I think
Mhm.
this year will be probably the first time that I'm full-time
Fully,
only doing photography.
no
That's
way.
what I'm saying. It's a really complicated story.
So just to clarify, Maria, you
Yeah.
you weren't doing this full time. This was gonna be your full time this year or
Yeah.
last
Yeah.
year with COVID happening. Since
Yeah. So
COVID
I think,
happened,
mhm.
you went part time. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I actually was able to take kind of a step back,
Mm-hmm.
even though there was a global pandemic. So I think if for some reason COVID didn't happen last year, I would have been able to go full time last year.
Mm-hmm.
But because of all the rescheduling and all that, it was
Mm-hmm.
easier being able to just do both and like slowly work my way out.
That's crazy because I was looking in your Instagram and like your work. I've been following you for a while now, and when I go in your Instagram, and the first impression that I see from your Instagram, like your outline, it seems like you've been doing this for a while full time. And then I was like, since you mentioned that you haven't been doing this full time, like you were gonna do this full time last year, that's pretty impressive. The branding that you've done, and also like the work that you created. It seems like if I was a couple, you probably have been doing this full time. I mean, you've been doing photography for 10 years, but like full time for 10 years. It's kind of amazing, what you've created.
Yeah, and I guess that's just a great like incentive for other photographers that feel like they're kind of stuck, because there's so many of us that are doing weddings part-time. When being a wedding photographer, especially like to where you want to be, you need to be full-time. But I guess I don't want them to feel discouraged. You can do both. If I was able to do both, you're able to do both.
It's the same similar situation as me as well. I was gonna do full-time last year with my girlfriend Maggie, but unfortunately with COVID, everything has to be postponed next year. And then I was kind of just imagining or dreaming, like what my life is doing this full time, and I'm sure you can feel the same, like having to just focus on it full time.
Especially on a date that like a really cool wedding was supposed to happen, and it's like a beautiful day outside. I'm just like, damn it. So I'm like, I could have been at a really awesome wedding today, and now I have to just sit in my house because we need to quarantine.
Oh my god. So how is your 2021, how is it looking for you? How's it looking with booking as well? Are you fully booked yet, or you still are booking for 2021?
So last year I told myself I was gonna be really picky about the weddings I took, because I needed to make sure that there was as many free dates as possible for couples that may need to reschedule.
Okay.
So I have a significant amount of dates open, so which I'm really glad I did, because I've already had couples from like April and May wanting to move their dates, either to the end of 2021 or even to 2022. And that's kind of my mentality for taking on weddings in 2022 too. Like I'm only taking on a certain amount for the beginning of this year until we know what's going to happen. I don't want to keep telling couples like, oh, it'll be fine, you'll be able to have your 200-person wedding in July. I don't want to do that. I also don't want, it was really, and I'm sure you can agree that not having certain dates for couples was the scariest thing. And like not being able to, especially because you've built a relationship with this couple, and I'm at the point where I want to go to their wedding, that if I had a date that they weren't able to get, was more heartbreaking to me.
I know they invested on you a lot, or you invested your time with them. Like
it's also,
they've been following
I've invested in them too. Like I follow all my couples on Instagram. I engage with them so much because I genuinely want us to feel like friends when I like show up to their hotel room.
Right.
I hate the idea of just being a stranger or another vendor. I want us to be friends.
right. That's why you mentioned that you do you engage with them on Instagram, maybe commenting on in their photos, or just
like commenting on their post. If they're like putting anything wedding related on their story, I'll like talk to them about it. I'll even ask them if they need help with something, especially this past year where a lot of couples were freaking out. I had to it was the first time I really got on Instagram and showed my face and was like, hey, it's gonna be okay, we're gonna figure this out together. Because it was really scary. It was scary for them, it was scary for us, and unfortunately it's not over yet. So I've been getting a lot of increase for this year. So I'm slowly, like I've hit the amount of weddings I wanted to do. but I'm not saying I'm fully booked because I know things are still going to get moved around.
Right. And yeah. And like, I mean, like, again, like you were really excited from last year to do this full time again, COVID, we're really unsure about what's going to happen this year. For me personally, I already have two couples that, are postponing for 2022. So I'm just kind of just going, with what is happening.
Yeah, I was even thinking of like, unfortunately, just telling couples who are planning bigger weddings to like, especially this year, like if
Mm-hmm.
a couple is reaching out for like a date at the end of the year, but they're having 200 people or they plan to have that many, just
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately not taking them on because that doesn't look like a realistic guest count for this year.
Mm-hmm.
And I also don't want to tell a couple that like, yeah, that's good, I'm gonna like take your deposit and then not be able to help them when they may need help.
Right. Yeah, well, we'll see where this goes for this year. I know you were excited last year, and hopefully, this year. I mean, for me as well, I wanted, I'm in nursing school right now, and I want to do this full time just because it's my passion. I love doing it.
Yeah.
So what about you? What have you been doing instead of like doing? Did you go back going to the bakery last year, working with your dad since of COVID? Were you?
So I have helped a lot, but a lot of it was just like remote on the computer work.
Okay.
But again, that was like a few hours a day.
Mm-hmm.
So what did I do a lot last year?
I
Watched
mean,
a lot of
last year went so quick. I feel like it
Yeah.
was just yesterday.
I really tried to just, I planned a really cool Halloween style shoot with
Okay.
vendors. So like I think that was kind of what I was trying to do a lot of is just
Mm-hmm.
try and make like vendor friends that had very similar like ideas to me. Like we got a whole group of wedding vendors that were just obsessed with Halloween.
Oh, no
And we
way!
just did a shoot together. Yeah. And so I would love to try and if I have the free time this year, I want to try and just do more of those.
Mm-hmm.
It's a great way to just get creative and just plan something that feels more like your own because we're always going to a wedding that someone else planned, which is great because that's what they want.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you just gotta like cut loose and like have fun.
Yeah, like you mean like a style shoe, right? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yeah, exactly. I think that they're awesome and it's not hard. Like you really just need a couple
Mm-hmm.
that's willing to model for you. Even if
Mm-hmm.
like for some reason you like I'm having troubles like reaching out to venues. A lot of
Mm-hmm.
venues want like thousands of dollars for a day during the
For the
week.
style shoe, you mean?
Yeah, and that's not really like that's not affordable right now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, of
Um,
course.
so it's as simple as like going to your public beach and like having your friend put on a really pretty like suit or
Mm-hmm.
dress and then just ask a florist for a bouquet and that's kind of and then you just kind of roll with that. So style shoots don't have to be this huge production. It can
Right.
be something like super small. And it's just
I know.
about being creative.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I know it's a lot of work as well, especially if you're charging other photographers, to come for this style shoot.
Yeah.
I went to one with Devin. I think it's Block Island, and I could just see
Cool.
the stress, and like holding this type of like style shoot because you have to coordinate with everyone, transportation, and then just like setting up everything. I guess for especially for you, you were holding this style shoot last year. What was that? Was that hard doing it?
It it's not hard. Just I guess it was the good group of vendors we had where we all
Mm-hmm.
kind of took on one responsibility
Okay.
and so then everything kind of was just like seamless. It's like, okay, I'm gonna worry about getting the model and the dress. Like you will find like a makeup artist and the decor and
Mm-hmm.
like like stuff like that. So if you're with a group of people, it's a great way to split up responsibility if you want to make it a big thing, but you don't have to. It, like I did last year, I literally just took one of the couples that I knew and I got a dress. I talked to a florist, got a bouquet, and then we like went out. I've even had like, my sister recently got engaged. So when we had that really big snowstorm a few weeks ago, the next day we just went up into the woods and we just walked around and I took pictures of them. It can be your best friend. It could be your sibling.
Right. It's a great way for especially if you don't have enough weddings, you know, you could just have that as content for your page as well.
Yeah. It's a great way to, still work and like practice editing and just practice shooting and just like keeping your what is it called?
Your craft, maybe craft.
Yeah, just like making sure you're up to par and you just keep practicing.
Yeah, of course.
Because it's so much fun looking at your work from January and then reviewing it in December from what you're doing then, and you're just like, oh my God, it looks so much better now.
You know what, Mary? It still boggles me how, like, you mentioned that this wasn't your full time, like you weren't doing this full time just because, like, looking at your work, I've been following you a while again, you know, like it seems like you've been doing this full time for a long amount of time, but like it seems like it's very inspiring, you know, like you've not been doing this, you know, full time, but like you're such, you know, your talent is there, and then also the branding that you've created, you know, it's amazing.
Thank you.
You know?
Thank you. Yeah, I mean, a lot of it was, I'm not gonna lie, it was probably like every free moment I had was putting it into my business, especially in the beginning. When I was still like where I literally just launched my website, it was pretty much me like working 9 to 5 and then have dinner and then get back on the computer till like 10. So it was difficult, but it's there. You saw it.
I know. I was actually looking at your website, you know. It seems like everything's all set up for you where, you know, you'll have like what do you call that? A direction where you can just, couples are attracted to your brand, and it's not a problem for you finding couples, because like I feel like how you branded yourself and like you created your, you know, your brand, I feel like it's easy for couples to just get attracted to your brand. What I mean is like you did such a great job, you know. I know it's a lot of work as well, you know, coming to where you are now. So especially your website, I looked at it earlier, I was like, oh my God, this is legit professional. Like, you know, it's
Thank you.
The vibe that you were showing, like the first, I think it was like a link to, or it was like a link's bio. I clicked on it on my computer. It was like, it showed me like this huge field maybe, and then this couple, and like I just love like the, you know, the brand that you put out.
Thank you. I have to give everything on my website I figured out through Squarespace. So Squarespace is super great. It was pretty easy to do. I recently just did that kind of like links homepage because I didn't want what everyone else has sort of thing where it's just like the white and then just like link and link. I wanted it to still feel like what I put on Instagram to what's on my website. I wanted that to be a great in between, and I was able to make it through Squarespace. So
I heard about Show It. I'm gonna try to show it. I'm still working my website, but anyways, I want to ask you a question. I've been seeing this on Instagram for a while now. A lot of photographers or videographers maybe they're doing like what would you call this, like reels. Are you planning on doing reels on your, I think, I'm not sure if you posted one, but are you planning on making one? You've done two? Okay.
I've done two. One of them was really just testing out how this thing works. And then the second one was me just being really silly and ridiculous. I don't think that I'm going to be making a lot. especially because I feel like a lot of photographers have already made so many, especially like on the educational side of it, that I would just be repeating the same kind of information that they are, where it's like, just, I might as well just like have theirs just be on my stories and just like show them, because they're doing it well enough. I feel like if I'm gonna do some, it's just gonna be to like show maybe behind the scenes stuff, even though I'm horrible at behind the scenes stuff. But yeah, I really don't think that I'm gonna use it too much, but
Yeah, it's,
good.
I know it's you know, it's crazy to see that, like, you know, suddenly like everyone's just starting to do reels, and I've seen it every day, and it's kind of cool how it transitioned to, like, you know, using that as a business, you know, because I've done one. I'm not gonna lie, maybe I guess two. I did two as well. You know, trying to try it out and see.
Just trying to figure it out. Like, how do I even like put it together?
So I mean, I feel like it's a great way to constantly like put out your work there if you have couples, you know, following you. But I don't know. I don't think I'm really good at it, but I think I'm still gonna do it because I feel like to just jump on a trend.
You have the video. You should make more.
Definitely. So what's your goal this year? Would, you know, do you have any personal goal or like goals with your business? I know, you know, last year it didn't work out because you didn't go full time, but like, do you have any new goals that you're, you know, achieving this year?
I have a few. I really just want to hopefully keep all the weddings that I have planned. That's like number one. That's my goal. But I think I'm gonna probably start offering mentor sessions, just because I have that basic photography skill and the basic kind of business stuff down. But more of in college, I was a teacher's assistant, so I was kind of teaching the basics of photography.
What subject?
Then.
So you were doing like photography assistant, like a class?
Yeah, so I was a teacher's assistant, so for like the basic level classes of in the darkroom with film, but also just like basic editing, like color correcting, and like how to identify which colors you like, how to kind of make everything look more neutral if that's what you want, how to make it warmer. So that's what I did, that a lot. And honestly, that's what really helped me, especially with editing, is color theory, is like figuring out what kind of colors you want to take out and which ones you want to put in. And I feel like that's where a lot of photographers need help, or when they're starting, they don't really know how to quickly grow. And then also like styled stuff. A lot of planning styled shoots are extremely intimidating. And so I kind of want to create something that I can help other photographers help them plan. So that's a goal for this year. That's and yeah, and just
like what you meant, like you
help as many
like
couples as I can.
like what you mentioned, like you really, you know, you went to college, you know, for I think photography, right? Like for me, I didn't go. I feel like a lot of people are not. Didn't go to that route where they went to college to take like a film class or a photography class. Is that something that you would recommend for someone that's still starting out? You know, should I go to college for this, or should I just, you know, wing it and like not do that and just kind of like grow my business from independently? What would you tell them?
There are so many photographers out there that have excelled and didn't major in photography. But if it was me again, I would still do it. And I think with kind of what you were saying, how it didn't look like I was full-time, but like I looked to par, I think a lot of that was through college, because that practicing of shooting and like mastering your camera, I did that then. And I learned the whole like fine art side of photography, but I was able to really master the basics. I was able to master manual mode. I know how to work a film camera. I know where to get it developed. I know how to develop my own. so I'm really, I was able to kind of like master the craft then. So when I wanted to launch my business, the quality was there already. So, and it's a great way, like, again, I learned more about like the fine art side, about the back end. So in college, that's where I figured out my why, like why I loved photography, where I want to go with it, and what it means to me, and how I can like capture it in a certain way. And I honestly couldn't have figured that out without my professors and without my colleagues, and all my classmates. So I think when you learn it young, and like if you know young enough that like photography is the only thing in your brain, and you know it's the only thing that you want to do, putting it towards your education, especially when you get a degree out of it, is never a bad idea. But again, there are plenty of other photographers out there that don't have a degree, and was able to just invest it in other photographers.
And like what you said, you know, a lot of photographers or just, you know, videographers that are just starting out, I think color correcting is a huge thing for your branding. If you have like different colors of your, you know, work, I feel like it doesn't stood out. And I feel like, you know, that kind of just, you know, not attract the couples that you want to attract. I feel like, and especially for video, it's like color correcting to make it into like the style or color that you want for your brand. It's really hard. And I'm sure for photography as well, you know, mastering that color correcting and also like be consistent in the colors is just, you know, a challenge for a lot of newer photographers.
Yeah, that, and like I took a whole class just on color. And
oh my God, really?
Out how to identify a color by its warmth or its coolness, and just like the color wheel over and over and over again.
Oh my God, I could imagine what it's like being in that class.
So it was boring being in it, but as soon as I sat at my computer and I was playing around with especially skin, that was it. That was it for me. That was like exactly what I needed. Like I needed those skills from my color theory class to be able to master the skin tone for my couples.
So you actually got out of it, meaning like you were able to like master the skin color. Like with your editing, you've learned that in college, where, you know, like the colors. Go ahead.
Editing styles like come and go. We always see that, where everything was like extremely warm like 3 years ago, and like now it's like becoming super cool. Like they're like different spectrums of the style that people want. And even though you can master one, like you're still gonna have to like figure out how to edit that current style that everyone wants. So you have to be malleable in some way. Even though it's your art, you're gonna make it what you want.
Right.
But even in that, with your own, if you can't grow, if you don't know how to change it on your computer in like Lightroom or Photoshop, if you don't know how to change it, then you're gonna be stagnant, and that defeats the purpose of art.
That's so cool, because like whenever I talk to photographers that didn't go to college or they went to college for, you know, photography, they mentioned like it didn't help them. Like they'd rather you know, went for it for, you know, become a photographer, not going to college. But it seems like you really got something out of like, you know, going to, you know, school for photography, and I'm sure it does.
It definitely it didn't help me figure out how to run a business. But it helped teach you in school. But it helped my craft. It helped me learn how to edit the way I want and how I wanted to, like, it helped. It didn't help anything on the business side of things, how to like taxes and like how to become like get an EIN number, like any of that. It didn't help any of that, but it helped me, especially one thing my first professor always told me when I was trying to figure out what to do for one of my projects. She asked me, what scares me the most? And that question does pop up when I'm reviewing my business or when I'm talking to a couple. So, and that, and another question that, or I think this one's more of a statement, but my other professor said, like, and I think a lot of photographers do this without knowing, but instead of looking at what everyone else is looking at, turn around and see what their reactions are. And I feel like a lot of wedding photographers do kind of do this, where like the main focus is on the bride walking down the aisle, but they turn around to get the groom's reaction. It's kind of like that. Like when a toasts are going on, instead of just taking pictures of the person that's doing a toast or a speech, you turn around to get the guest reactions. That is extremely important, even in engagement sessions, where it's like, okay, your couple is standing over here, they're admiring the view, like turn around to see what else is in the environment. But yeah, those are just kind of two things like that have kind of stuck with me from my professors too.
And I feel like photography is something I tell I tell everyone this, like, I feel like photography versus videography, I feel like photography is such a challenging, thing to do, because I tell them, like, for video, we're constantly shooting. We're not like taking moments of, like, it's easier for us. Am I slowing? Am I cutting down a little bit?
You were there a little bit, but you came back.
Yeah, so pretty much, what I'm trying to saying is, like, for video, we just constantly shoot. I feel like photography, you have to get that moment. If someone is, in that moment when they're like tearing up, you have to capture that in that moment. For us, we kind of just like, just videotape constantly. And my question to you, like, I'm pretty sure you've worked with other videographers. You can be honest with this. So what is your, like, if you're working with a videographer, what is that number one thing that you guys don't work, or that you dislike that videographers do when you're working with one? Or is there something that you guys have conflict with?
I don't think I've ever really had a videographer. I feel like most videographers are pretty cool, where they kind of just like let the photographer kind of like lead, especially like posing wise. But I always turn back to my videographer being like, is there anything that you wanted to do? And sometimes they come up with these really cool ideas that I don't even think of, and then I get these really cool shots out of it. So I think it's something for photographers to keep in mind, is that it's a collaboration. You're working with another person that they're trying to create a great piece of work for the couple too. I think the only thing, and it wasn't even, I was second shooting for another photographer, and this videographer kept holding up the couple because it wasn't exactly the way that she wanted. Like her if she was like, oh, like pretend like you're putting on your earring, like she would be doing like this, and she's like, no, you need to switch your hands, and it would just do that for like 20 minutes, and I'm not exaggerating when it was like 20 minutes.
Oh my god.
So that was probably the only thing that was like, and it wasn't even it wasn't my couple, so I was more annoyed for the couple, because you could tell that the couple was like, all right, like I need to go get married in 10 minutes.
Right.
So I think I was upset because the couple was getting upset.
Oh my god. Well, yeah, that's kind of like, for video, like how we work is pretty much, we just work with the photographer. We pretty much like
which is like 99% of the time my experience with videographers.
And we just prioritize, photo, because I feel like, the couple's really invested. I feel like for us, we can constantly just shoot it, and we can just work around with it, and like, slow-mo it. Like, we wouldn't take the video for like, tell the couple to pose for like a few minutes. Am I cutting? I think I'm cutting a little bit.
A little. I still understand exactly what you're saying, though. You're not cutting out that bad.
That's fine. So yeah, so for us as for videographers, we have the flexibility of like slowing moments down. Like we wouldn't necessarily do it for like, 20 minutes, or even we just need like 30 seconds of a shot, and then we can just slow-mo it. And I'm just surprised, you were able to encounter some videographer like that, which is pretty, yeah.
Yeah, it was literally, so I've been shooting weddings for, I guess this will be my 4th year, and it was one photographer out of the like 100 weddings I've been to. It was just one. So
one videographer, you mean?
It was just one, and there was a group of, there was like out of, I think this one video work company. So, and it was just that one videographer from that whole company. So everyone else from that company was great. Yeah, but other than that, videographers are great, and they're great to work with, because again, like they come up with different ideas that I haven't come up with, and then it becomes like my new favorite pose. So never opposed to working with videographers.
I asked like people this just because like photographers specifically, just because like I feel like I don't know if this is true, there is some type of intimidation for other photographers maybe about having video for their wedding. Maybe that photographer is new, but who knows. But like I feel like there might be still like that intimidation like for photographers with videographers, because they might ruin the shot and stuff like that, or like we might take up some, I don't know, something. I feel like it just has
I haven't had that at all. Every videographer I've worked with, which I hope I get to work with you soon.
Yeah, definitely in the future.
Yeah, but again, everyone else is like super cool, and we're really great. I found like me with another videographer, we're really great at making sure we're not in the shot, especially when I know I move around a lot. So I'm always like, cool, like where, especially during the ceremony, I was like, where is your shot? So where can I stand to make sure that I'm not in it? So I make sure to even ask all of those questions, depending on even like if you guys have a light, I'm like, cool, if you have a light, I'm not going to use my flash. So like if you're putting it here, I'm going to make sure to stand over there, and I won't need to use my flash. So that way it's not messing up your video, and I'm still getting the quality of photos I need. Because I know flash can be pretty annoying to edit out.
Right. Well, for me, I feel like for flash, it's not really a problem. But I'm sure like other videographers might, maybe they might not want that. I don't know. For me, it's just like I shoot whatever is happening that day, whatever the photographer feels like, and I feel like it's just a teamwork pretty much with with the vendor.
It's important to see it as a collaboration. You're working on the same project together. You both want to make it great for your couple. So the least you can do is just ask to make sure that you're like not in their shot during the ceremony, so they can capture the vows.
Definitely. Yeah. So I was trying to ask. So I've been looking at your work for a while now. It's just like it's just great to be able to talk with someone in person, and I feel like creating this podcast. You're cutting a little bit again.
Oh, great. Yeah.
You're cutting out.
Oh,
I think you're cutting. It's fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Am I glitching?
No, you're good. I had this fun conversation with Alex and Julia, a photographer, yesterday, and I asked them, like, I don't know if you're into Netflix, but like, if you had to recommend like someone who would want, you don't watch Netflix?
No, I was like, am I into Netflix? Of course I am.
I was like, what? So if you had to recommend someone to watch a Netflix that you're watching now or currently, or you've watched before, what would you recommend? Two shows.
2 shows?
Yeah. Something
That's
you're
on
watching.
Netflix. Does it have to be a Netflix original?
It can be either. It could be both. It could be both.
Anything available on Netflix?
Yeah, either currently right now, or either that's been your favorite Netflix show before.
Okay. Oh man, this is hard. Um, just because I've been watching a lot of HBO Max recently.
No, wait, really? Because I feel like HBO Max is like, I don't want to offend you, but like a knockoff like thing.
No, it's not as great. So so the first thing that came to mind that's on HBO Max is I just recently finished rewatching, probably for the 12th time, The Sopranos. And
Sopranos,
that
okay.
stuff, it holds up. So I guess I'm gonna go similar in that route with one show, and I'm gonna go for Peaky Blinders because I feel
So
like that.
what's Petey Blinder? I haven't heard
Oh,
of
okay, then
that.
you need to watch that right now. It's so good.
HBO Max
It's
only, right?
about like mobsters in England. It's with Cillian Murphy.
Hmm.
So good. You're
It's kind
watching
of
that later.
it seems like it's the Sopranos vibe, right? It's just like the Sopranos is like
Yeah,
mob like.
yeah. It's so that's one. And now I feel like I should go with something a little more
I don't know what's up with like mobster like shows, Maria, but like I
I
don't.
love
You do what
it.
is it like? I don't know what it is, but like I'm sure like
Uh
a lot of people love
yeah.
that kind of mob
I
like.
don't know what it is. I think it's like something similar to like Breaking Bad can be my second one.
Okay, yeah, that's
Where it's
something
like
relatable.
you're kind of rooting for the bad guy.
Uh-huh. Oh really?
Yeah, it's just so good. It's complex but
Hmm.
relatable at the same time. So, it's just so
I
good.
you're not planning on committing a crime, right? You're not planning on committing a
No,
crime.
definitely not. Definitely not. But it's just they're just great storylines.
Okay,
And a lot of people will bash me on how The Sopranos ends, but I kind of love the ending.
oh my god. Well, you mentioned there's a lot of episode into it, so I'll definitely
Mhm.
you might be the first person that may convince me on watching those type of shows.
It's so good. The stories are so good.
And also, yeah, I don't want to keep away a lot of your time, but it's been like a great time speaking with you, and I think sometimes it was cutting a little bit.
Oh yeah, you just let me know.
Wait, is it cutting? Wait, is it still cutting?
No, I can hear you. Can you hear
Okay.
me?
Yeah, I can hear you. But again,
Cool.
I don't want to take a lot of your time, but it was such a fun time speaking with you. Yeah, I'm cutting again.
I know, it was so great. Finally, like putting a face to the name and being able to finally talk. I
Yeah,
feel
I
like
know,
we've
I
been
know.
following each other for such a long time, um, that it's like finally we can have a real conversation.
Yeah, definitely. It's great to see. Like I've been following you a while, and I feel like it was a lot of surprise talking with you. With your story, especially you haven't been doing this full time, but you've been doing photography for a
Mhm.
while now. It's such
Yeah.
inspiring, and I'm sure for someone starting out, I'm sure they can see that as an inspiration as well.
Yeah, it's definitely there's just going to be so many discouraging moments, and that doesn't end when you're full time.
Hmm.
Like couples are still going to not book you for whatever reason, like your website's not going to work for a few days, which I've been dealing with for like a few days ago. My website's been glitchy. So all that stuff doesn't go away when you go full time. It just happens.
Just go along with it, and thank you
Yeah,
again
it's
for.
just life.
It's life, yeah. Especially with COVID, we'll see what
Yeah,
happens. Um,
definitely.
Anyways, thank you so much again. Do you mind if I upload this to YouTube?
Do it. Yeah.
It's kind of cool to have a video of yourself kind of talking with someone and looking back at it where you were now and like where you are at now in the future. I feel like it's such a great way to look at yourself.
Yeah.
So
Totally. That's
and definitely.
awesome.
So thank you again, Maria, right? Maria
Yeah,
Long.
it was so great talking to you too. And I can't wait to see the other stuff that you do with the podcast.
Oh, thank you. And also, if anyone, whoever is watching this, I don't know, but like, I feel like maybe couples in the future who will be watching this, if you want to find Maria Lang, you could find her on Instagram. What is it again? Your Instagram?
It's photosby.mb.
And you could find more information from there. But anyways, thank you so much, Maria, for your time. It was great talking with you finally. So we'll keep in touch.
Yeah, you too. You're so welcome. Thank you for asking me to be on. Again,
no, thank you.
It was just so awesome getting your message.
I know, thank you. All right, we'll keep in touch.
Okay, great.
Bye-bye.